Welcome to my class, student. It's class 8 English Honeydew. We are doing chapter 3 Glimpses of the Past. This is session 4 and we are doing question answer. As I have done the text with you, you have known what were the glimpses of the past and you knew the situations that led to the first war of independence. Now the question answers are related to that chapter. Let's start. Look at picture 1 and recall the opening lines of the original song in Hindi. Who is the singer? Who else do you see in this picture? The original song is "ए मेरे वतन के लोगों." The singer is Lata Mangeshkar. Now, who are there in the pictures? Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Lal Bahadur Shastri, Indira Gandhi, Bahadur Shah Zafar, Rani Lakshmi Bai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Lala Lajpat Roy, Bhagat Singh, Subhash Chandra Bose and Mahatma Gandhi are also seen in that picture. If you go through those pictures, you will find Lal Bahadur Shastri and all the other great Indian freedom fighters. In picture 2, what do you understand by the company's superior weapons? The company's superior weapons mean all their wits, strength, rules and regulations. What were the weapons? Superior weapons, their wits, their wisdom, their cleverness, their strength, their rules and their regulations. These were the weapons through which they made India their slave. They conquered India and they made Indians their slave. They became a ruler. Who is an artisan? Why do you think the artisans suffered? An artisan is a skilled manual worker who crafts items that may be functional or strictly decorative. Functional or decorative. Weavers, cotton weaver was there. Then there were many others. For example, those clay makers were there and many more who were skilled manual worker, right? At that time, during that time, we didn't have machineries, so everything was made manually. So people who were skilled in creating crafts and those were functional or strictly decorative were called artisan. The artisans suffered because the British were extracting very high taxes from them, which ruined them economically. Moreover, machine manufactured goods imported from Britain were sold extensively, which ruined the business of the artisans' handmade goods. That means without import taxes, they were coming from England and they were all machine manufactured. So they were creating a craze in India. So people were buying those things and they were not buying things from our local artisans. And because of this, our Indian industries were having a big loss. So handmade goods were costlier than the machine manufactured goods. Still we are doing the same. We are not interested in having that handmade goods because it's really costlier than those who are the things that are coming from China or that are coming from other country. So actually we are attacking our own brothers. We are just creating harm to our own economy. So please buy handmade goods of local artisans. It will save our country. It will give strength to our economy. Which picture, according to you, reveals the first sparks of the fire of revolt? Picture 7, the sparks, the title was given, reveals the first sparks of the fire of revolt. So here you are seeing the questions, now working with the text. Do you think the Indian princes were short-sighted in their approach to the events of 1757? Yes, the Indian princes were short-sighted in their approach to the events of 1757. They didn't understand the ill intention of the British merchants. They didn't get that knowledge that in future the British people would harm them, would started ruling them. So how did the East India Company subdue the Indian princes? The Indian princes were constantly at war with each other. They called the English merchants to help them in their fights. The people had no peace due to such constant fight. The rivalries helped the East Indian Company subdue the Indian princes one by one. This constant war, this mistrust among the kingdoms, this less or loss of brotherhood among the kingdoms, and this rivalries helped the British India Company or East India Company to grow on our Indian soil. Quote the words used by Ram Mohan Rai to say that every religion teaches the same principles. According to Ram Mohan Rai, cows are of different colors, but the color of their milk is the same. Different teachers have different opinions, but the essence of every religion is the same. Yes, we know this, we admit it, and this is a fact. So if there is any fight due to religion, it's just a silly activity. We should not fight over religions, because each and every religion shows us the correct path. It leads us to the path of humanity, not to the path of chaos or differences. In what ways did the British officers exploit Indians? The British officers exploited Indians in many ways. They imposed heavy taxes on Indian farmers and reduced import duty on goods manufactured in England. So these articles become cheaper in India because the merchants did not have to pay import duty, and even they cut the thumbs of export artisans. See, this also happened. Those who are very skilled, those who are very expert, and whose articles were sold like hot cake, they used to cut their thumbs. Name these people, the ruler who fought pitched battles against the British and died fighting. That is Kunwar Singh, 80 years old king who fought pitched battles. The person who wanted to reform the society, Ram Mohan Roy. The person who recommended the introduction of English education in India, Macaulay. Two popular leaders who led the revolt. Choices may vary because here they are asking for two popular leaders, and all were popular actually. So you can name any one of the two of them. Maulvi Ahmadullah of Faizabad and Peshwa Nana Sahib. Mention the following two examples of social practices prevailing then: untouchability and child marriage. Right? Two oppressive policies of the British. The British decided to do away with import duty on goods manufactured in England. This severely affected Indian industries because Indian products became costlier than the British products or the products that they have brought from England. So the common man were more interested in buying foreign products, not the Indian products. In 1818, they passed Regulation 3. Under it, an Indian could be jailed without trial in a court. I have explained the thing when I was doing the text. Two ways in which common people suffered. They lost their old jobs and lands also. They were being converted by the British. Their lands were encroached by the British army. Landlords were therefore very angry, and the people were losing their old jobs because the industries were facing loss. So they didn't have money to hire people or didn't have money to give salaries. So people were losing jobs. 4 reasons for the discontent that led to the 1857 War of Independence. 4 reasons for the discontent that led to the 1857 War of Independence were: Indians had become slaves in their own country. Suppose you are living in your home and someone from outside becomes your master, start commanding you, start treating you as a slave. How will you feel? The same feeling we had when British ruled over us. We were slave in our own country, and this was the thing that was really very heartbreaking. And this was the discontent that led to the 1857 War of Independence. The East India Company destroyed Indian industries. Indian industries they started destroying. There was huge difference in the treatment of the Englishman and the Indian in army as well as in the offices also. The use of grease on the bullet was spoiling the customs of Indians, as it was made of the fat of the cows and pigs. As you know, as I have explained, they have ill-treated all the communities of India. Working with language now started. Change the following sentence into indirect speech. Direct and indirect. First man, we must educate our brothers. Second man, and try to improve their material condition. Third man, for that we must convey our grievances to the British Parliament. Now these are the direct speech. First man is saying directly, second man is saying directly, and the third man is saying directly. Now we will have to make it into an indirect way. That means reported speech. The first man said that we must educate our brothers. How do you say? That we must educate our brothers. That is there. Just to remove this colon, we have used the word that. The second man added that. The third man suggested that. First soldier, the white soldier gets huge pay, pensions and servants. Second soldiers, the first man said that we must educate our brothers. So, we must educate our brothers. In this way you need to write. The second man added that and try to improve their material condition. Added that and tried to condition. Now the same line in the same way you will have to do. See, try to improve and try to improve. The third man, for that we must convey our grievances to the British Parliament. And the third man suggested that they must have they must educate and they must show their grievances to British Parliament. To British Parliament. Now, first soldier, the white soldier gets huge pay, pensions and servants. So, the second soldiers, we get a pittance and slow promotions. Third soldier, who are British, to abolish our custom. So, the first man said that the white soldiers got huge pay. Here you need to change the white soldiers soldiers used, because the reported verb in past form. See, got, used, pay, mentions and servants. Just a minute. White soldiers got, right, mentions. Answer is there at the end of this, but you need to understand how these things are happening. Now, if I move to the answers, the first man said that they must educate their brothers. The second man added that they must try to improve their material conditions. We has become they. When we do in the indirect speech, whatever there in the direct speech, the pronoun changes according to the gender and the number. Right? So we has become they and are has become their. The second man added that they must try to improve their material condition. The third one suggested that they must convey their grievances to the British Parliament. The first soldier said that the white soldier got used. See, here it has become got, because there it is get, but here it will be got because the reported verb is past. Now the second soldier remarked that they got a pittance and slow promotions. The third soldier asked who the British were to abolish their customs. So in this way you need to change direct speech into indirect speech. So what have you learned? We have gone through the question answers. We have gone through the grammar part, that is direct, indirect, narration part. Answers have been given, but you please try to do it by your own, so that at the end when you will tally with the answer, if it will be correct, that means you have learned the chapter. Go through the question answer, learn it, write it and prepare it as in a way so that when you will appear for the exam, you will be correct, 100% correct. In the next class, I shall be with you. A new chapter, new technique, new story. Till then, have a good revision. Goodbye. Thank you.